I don't know why you bless me, oh. What is the reason you died for me? Somebody tell me. Welcome to the Mentors Show. How has your day been? Welcome to our audience. On YouTube at Africa Coaching and Mentorship Initiative YouTube channel. Welcome to our audience on Facebook at Dr. Olushola Ajide. Good evening, official Sabiti. Welcome to the Mentors Show.
Imagine a place where you can escape for a day.
Welcome to the Mentors Show. Okay, let's roll the intro.
Strap yourself in because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go. Hello, welcome. I'm Dr. Olushola Ajide, your host on the Mentors Show, where we inspire you, help you reinvent yourself, and to make a positive impact in your community, in your country, and on your continent. We mentor people across Africa. We bring you guests with inspiring life stories who are themselves transformation agents, making a positive change in their profession and nations. Subscribe to the African Coaching and Mentorship Initiative YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yes, welcome to the Mentors Show. I'm your host, Dr. Olushola Ajide. And you know how it is. On the Mentors Show, it's a show where we inspire you. It's a show where we help you to, give you ideas that will help you to reinvent yourself. And also we bring you tips and nuggets that would help you to be a transformative leader in your community, in your country, and of course, on the continent, wherever you are joining us from. You are live on Facebook at Africa Coaching and Mentorship Initiative YouTube channel. We are live on Facebook at Dr. Olushola Ajide. And of course, we are live on LinkedIn at Dr. Olushola Ajide. That's on my LinkedIn profile. And of course, those of our audience on Instagram. We are live also on Instagram. So welcome everyone tonight on the Mentors Show. Like as advertised, tonight we will continue our deep dive. Again, we are still mapping the natural resources of the continent of Africa. We are mapping the natural resources of the continent of Africa. And I hope our audience on LinkedIn can see a difference based on our presentation, and of course, even on YouTube also. We're trying to make things better, make things sweeter, and we continue to make positive changes to ensure that we bring you quality information. Yeah, and that's what we are looking at today. We are looking at Nation 38. Wow. We've come a long way. You remember that on this show, the Mentor Show, we've looked at series of nations that are on the continent of Africa, and we've been looking at them step by step. We've started all the way from in an alphabetical order. We've looked at Algeria, we've looked at Angola, we've looked at Benin Republic, we've looked at Botswana, we've looked at Burkina Faso, we've studied Burundi, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Central African Republic, we've looked at Chad, we've looked at Comoros, we've looked at Congo, we've looked at Côte d'Ivoire, We've looked at Democratic Republic of the Congo. We've looked at Djibouti, Egypt, Equatorial Guinea. We've also looked at Eritrea, Ethiopia, Gabon, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau. We've looked at Kenya. And we looked at Lesotho, Liberia, Libya, Madagascar, Malawi, Mali, Mauritania, Mauritius, Morocco, Mozambique, Namibia. And last week, on the 2nd of July 2024, we looked at Niger. And interestingly, surprise, surprise, today we are looking at Nation 38. Nation 38. And you know what that is. You've seen from the flyer, the graphic. We are looking at Nigeria today. Drum roll, someone. We've been looking at every other nation. I've been looking and considering every other nation, extraying the natural resources in every other nation. And you can say it, the chicken has come to roost, is now my beloved country, the country of my birth, Nigeria. And that is what we are considering today, mapping the natural resources in the nation called Nigeria. So we're going to have a deep dive, and it will go straight on into the session tonight. It's going to be a great one. So please, for wherever you are joining us from, either on LinkedIn, either on YouTube, or on Facebook, or of course on Instagram, let us know where you are joining us from. Let us know where you are joining us from, and also participate. If you have any question, let us know. Let us have it. Just put it down there. Share the like. Share. Be kind. Share this information. Share the live session on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube. Just share it. And of course, on Instagram, invite family and friends. That is time for the Mentor Show, while we are looking and extraying the natural resources of the continent of Africa. So, and that's what we are doing straight on tonight. So let's go straight on into our session tonight. Let's go into what we are. We'll be looking at, and like you know how it is, the routine is looking at every nation and looking at what are the natural resources. But again, you might want to ask, and let me again bring it to you, remind you. Let me give you a reminder that why should we look at the natural resources? Why should we map the natural resources? It's because there's a need for us to know what are the resources that are available in every country. And why do we need to know that? Because your knowledge of the resources on the continent of Africa helps you, educates you, informs you, and help you know how you can maximize that knowledge, maximize what are the natural resources on the continent. Don't forget, the continent of Africa is still the youngest, if you like to use that terminology, is still a continent that is still yet unexplored, despite thousands of years of exploration of natural resources that are available on the continent of Africa. The continent is still young. There are a lot of resources still available. More than that, we're looking at the natural, the human capital. Let me tell you, if you are an African, it is until you discover the reason why you were born, it is then that we can be able to have a developed Africa. When you discover the purpose, the reason why you were born, when you discover the problem you were born to solve. You see, your discovery of the problem you were born to solve that is the only way by which we can have Africa developed. And for us at the Mentor Show, at Africa Coaching and Mentorship Initiative, our purpose is to tackle ignorance. Our purpose is to come your way to ensure we bring you this information and help you discover all the positive, opportunities that are there and how you can discover why you were born and begin to solve that problem, begin to tackle, begin to live. You know, it was Miles Monroe that said, the richest place on earth is the graveyard. The richest place on earth is the graveyard. Why did he say that? He said, because a lot of people have died and gone to the graveyard with their potential. So, tonight, DJ Black Mamba, have you discovered your potential? Are you living out the purpose of why you were born? And of course, Lambert Sekinat, Official Tabiti, have you discovered the purpose why you were born? Are you living out and fulfilling that purpose what you were born to achieve? Without us finding the purpose and discovering the purpose why you were born, you might not live. You might actually be, surviving. You might not actually thrive until everyone on earth discover the purpose that they were born to fulfill, discover the problem they were born to solve. It is then they can begin to succeed. So don't allow that thesis, that proposition by Miles Monroe that the graveyard is the most, richest place where people who have potential, they die and they did not maximize their potential. They did not serve their gifts to the world. I pray that you will not be like that. Tracy Okafor, how is Germany today? Welcome to the Mentor Show. Again, share this, share the information. Let your family, friends come, or those of you on Facebook, those of you on LinkedIn, those of you on YouTube, and of course Instagram. Invite people to come as we estray and we map the natural resources of Nation 38, which is Nigeria. We are looking at Nigeria today. We've been looking at other nations, and now we've come to Nigeria. So, have you discovered the problem you were born to solve? So that's again I bring to you today as we start and do a deep dive on looking at Nigeria, which is the nation of my birth. So we are looking at Nigeria, and Nigeria is, is in West Africa. For those of you who don't know, Nigeria is in West Africa. Nigeria officially became a republic, in West Africa in 1961 actually, but it got independence in 1960. The flag of Nigeria is 3 columns of green, white, green, and that typifies the agricultural prowess that is available, the growth, the opportunities, as it were, that is available on this particular nation. The capital is Abuja. Abuja is the capital, and the largest city in Nigeria, of course, is Lagos. The official language, because we're colonized by Britain, is English, and the national languages that are common is the Hausa, is the Igbo, and of course the Yoruba. And of course there are over 25 other languages spoken in this beautiful and wonderful nation. So some of the ethnic groups in this country of Nigeria is the Hausa, 30%, the Yoruba, 15.5%, the Igbo, 15.2%, the Fulani, 6%, the TV, 2.4%, the Kanuri is 2.4%, the Ibibio, 1.8%, the Ijaw, 1.8%, and all others that you can classify, they make up the 24.9%. So so when you come Nigerians, the people who come from Nigeria are known as Nigerians. Last week we looked at Niger. Those who come from Niger, they are known as Nigerian. But those who come from Nigeria, they are Nigerians. Good evening, precious. So, and The current president of this nation of Nigeria is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the vice president is Kashim Shettima. The Senate president is Godswill Akpabio. House Speaker is Tajuddin Abbas, and the Chief Justice is Olukayode Ariwo Ola. We have two, upper house legislature, upper house and lower house, which is the Senate, and of course the House of Representative. Like I mentioned earlier, we got our independence in 1960. Actually, we became a republic in 1963. I said 161 earlier. In 1963, we became independent. And of course, the landmass of this nation is 923,769 kilometers. So, and of course, of that particular area, 1.4% of it is water. Now, when it comes to the population, Nigeria is deemed, arguably, as the most populous black nation on earth, because we have 230,842,743 people that are in the nation called Nigeria. Our GDP, when it comes to gross domestic product, the estimate is 1.365 trillion, and that makes us the 27th globally among all nations. And our per capita is 6,147. That's our per capita. We are that makes us 143rd globally. Yeah. So Nigeria, like I mentioned, is a very interesting nation. We were a lot of nations, have colonized Nigeria. We've had incursion with the Portuguese. We've had incursion with the Portuguese. We've had incursion with various people. But of course, the English were the ones who now took hold, if you like to use that terminology, took hold of. Good evening, Precioso HG. Good evening. So the English were the one, and we got our independence in 1960. And like every other nation, we're still, you can still say we're still finding our feet, isn't it? The name Nigeria, which is the etymology of the nation, of the word, came from Niger River that runs through, that forms a Y. And interestingly enough, the water, the Niger River and the Benue River, categorize or divide the nation into three parts. And that's River Niger. That's why we have the word Nigeria, Niger area, which is by the British journalist in 1897, Flora Shaw. So quite a lot of things are very interesting when it comes to Nigeria. Prehistorically, we've had the Neolithic things showing from the Iron Age that have been found in Nigeria, bronze production. We've also found the aspect of the issue of, suggested technology that moved from the Nile Valley, from the Iron Age, through the River Niger, and of course the knock art. Now, some of these arts, you will see them, the terracotta, across the world. In fact, I think that should be last year or last 2 years, Aberdeen University, Aberdeen decided to return some of the artifacts, some of the cultural arts that were found in its archive, return them back to the source, back to Nigeria. And so, we have, so you can see some of these cultural things which come across the world. Welcome, precious consults. Welcome, welcome. So we are looking at Nigeria today. We are looking at Nigeria. We are considering Nigeria. That's what we are looking at today. For those who are just joining us, we are considering Nigeria today, looking at the natural resources available in the country called Nigeria. So that's what we are considering today. So what are the natural resources that are available in this nation called Nigeria? What are the natural resources what are the nation? Just excuse me. Just give me a minute, please. Sorry. Yeah, apologies for that. Some people are being found over there. So what are the resources available in Nigeria? First, if we're going to look at the nation, let's start from the natural resources. Now, if we go on to look at more about our economy as a nation, we have a lot of things. But before we look at the issue of our trade and the things we trade, let's look at the natural resources that are available in this wonderful nation called Nigeria. Now, the nation of Nigeria is a blessed nation. Blessed because there are several kind of resources that are available, in this particular nation. Like is the popular one is the proven reserve of crude oil. So we are known to be a nation that have a lot of crude oil. And it could be argued, you can say, have we maximized the abundant resources we have? That could be argued that we might not have actually benefited or arguably benefited from that. So we have, when it comes to natural resources, we have oil, crude oil. We have, more than crude oil, we have proven natural gas. We have gas, which is also in abundance. And this natural gas and oil is, dare say, one of our greatest exports as a nation on the continent and globally. That the proven oil reserve is about 23 billion barrels of gas, reserves, and over 40 million tons of deposit of talc. We also have talc in the nation called Nigeria. So we have and you see, in every state of Nigeria there are natural resources. For example, in Abia State we have gold, we have lead, we have zinc, we have limestone, oil and gas, we have salt in Abia State. In Abuja we have casterite, clay, dolomite, we have gold, lead, zinc, marble, tantalite is available in Abuja. In Adamawa State, we have bentonite, gypsum, kaolin, and magnesite. In Akwa Ibom, we have clay, we have lead, zinc, we have lignite, we have limestone, oil and gas, we have salt and uranium in Akwa Ibom State. In Anambra State, we have clay, we have glass, sand, gypsum, iron ore, lead, zinc, lignite, limestone, phosphate, and salt. In Bauchi State, we have gold, we have cassiterite, which is tin ore, we have columbite, we have gypsum, we have wolfram, coal, limestone, lignite, iron ore, and clay in Bauchi State. In Bayelsa, we have clay, we have gypsum, we have lead, zinc, lignite, limestone, manganese, we have oil and gas and uranium. In Benue State, we have barite, we have clay, we have coal, we have gemstone, we have gypsum, we have iron ore, lead, zinc, limestone, marble, and salt. In Borno State, we have bentonite, clay, diatomite, we have gypsum, we have hydrocarbon, kaolin, and limestone. In Cross River, we have barite, lead, we have zinc, lignite, limestone, manganese, oil and gas, salt, and uranium. In Delta State, we have clay, we have glass, we have sand, we have gypsum, we have iron ore, kaolin, lignite, marble, and oil and gas. In Ebonyi State, we have gold, we have lead, zinc, and salt. In Edo State, we have bitumen. And Nigeria is one of the nations that have a lot of bitumen when it comes to the deposit of that. We have clay in Edo, dolomite, phosphate, glass sand, gold, gypsum, iron ore, lignite, limestone, marble, oil, and gas. Those are available in Edo State. In Ekiti, we have feldspar, we have granite, kaolin, we have cyanite, we have titanium. In Enugu State, the 15th state, we have coal, lead, zinc, and limestone. In Gombe, we have gemstone and gypsum. And in Imo State, gypsum, lead, zinc, lignite, limestone, marcasite, oil and gas, phosphate, and salt. In Jigawa, we have butters. In Kaduna, we have amethyst, aquamarine, asbestos, clay, fluorspar, gemstone, gold, graphite, kaolin, ironite, mica, rock, crystal, ruby, sapphire, sienite, supertinite, tantalite, topaz, and tourmaline. Those are available in Kaduna State. Precious stones they are. The Kano State, we have gassitrite, copper, gemstone, glass sand, lead, zinc, and pyroxene and tantalite. In Katsina, we have kaolin, marble, and salt. In Kebbi, there is gold. In Kogi, coal, dolomite, feldspar, gypsum, iron ore, kaolin, marble, and talc and tantalite. In Kwara, interestingly enough, I'm from Kwara State. That's my state. They have cassiterite, there's columbite, there's feldspar, gold, iron ore, marble, mica, and tantalite. In Lagos, there's also bitumen, clay, and glass sand. In Nasarawa State, there's amethyst, topaz, garnet, there's baritex, there's barite, there's cassiterite, there's chalcopyrite, there's clay, there's columbite, there's cooking coal, dolomite, marble, there's feldspar, there's galena, there's iron ore, there's limestone, there's mica, salt, sapphire, tantalite, tourmaline, quartz, and zircon. That's Nasarawa. In Niger State, there's gold, there's lead, zinc, and talc. In Ogun State, is bitumen, clay, feldspar, gemstone, kaolin, and limestone, and phosphate. In Ondo State, there's bitumen, there's clay, there's coal, there's dimension stones, there's feldspar, there's gemstone, there's glass sand, granite, gypsum, kaolin, limestone, and oil and gas. In Osun State, there's columbite, there's gold, there's granite, there's talc, there's tantalite, there's tourmaline. In Oyo State, there is aquamarine, cassiterite, clay, dolomite, gemstone, gold, kaolin, marble, silimonite, talc, and tantalite. in Plateau State, barite, bauxite, bentonite, bismuth, cassiterite clay, coal, emerald, fluoride, gemstone, granite, iron ore, kaolin, lead, zinc, marble, molybdenite, there's prochlor, salt, tantalite, columbite, tin, and wolfram in Plateau State. Now in rivers is clay, glass sand, lignite, marble, and of course oil and gas. In Sokoto there's clay, flakes, there's gold, granite, gypsum, kaolin, laterite, limestone, phosphate, potash, silica, sand, and salt. In Taraba there's lead and zinc. In Yobe there's soda ash and tintonite. In Zamfara there's coal, cotton, and gold. Can you now see why I said this nation is one of the best nations, or the blessed? When I say blessed nations, I meant blessed nations in the world. Every state, out of the 37 states, and even with the capital, 36 states and the capital, there is one natural resources available in that particular country of Nigeria. And these are opportunities. These are opportunities. Opportunities, yes. Thank you, Precious. So Nigeria, so much natural resources are available in Nigeria. Although we are not our leaders, and all these are not maximally utilized for the benefits of the nation. And of course, can we talk about those who are fighting in the north, those who are excavating and mining these resources without permission from the government, or those who have even got just sole authority to do the mining of these things without the wealth coming to the nation of Nigeria. So you could see, when I tell you Nigeria is blessed, it is blessed because every part of the nation, anywhere you turn to, there are natural resources that could bring about development, that could bring about growth, that could bring about advancement for the nation. So there's no need for the nation to go through the challenges that the nation is going through. In fact, just today, I was just listening again today that Nigeria has gone on again to loan fresh money. When I say fresh money, I meant additional money, an additional loan from the World Bank. We've gone again to loan money from the World Bank. Can you beat that? So we continue as a nation, we continue to look for, in spite of all these resources everywhere, the the nation has gone again to loan $2.5 billion, bringing our deficit, our loan to $113 billion. Our loan has gone to $113 billion. So you could see, despite all these resources, we continue to loan. And like somebody's mentioned, the reason why, like the other day, it was I read online that Dangote, who have just built the biggest refinery in Africa, was complaining that the multinational agencies are not selling or giving to him crude oil. And somebody was explaining why that is. And do you know why that is? It is because Nigeria, we have used all the production, all the oil production, they've been mortgaged. We've used it to collect loans. We've used it to collect, so we have sold. Like somebody was saying, there's most of all the nations in Africa, most of all the nations in Africa, we've used the resources of today. We've mortgaged the resources of 10 years, 15 years. So that is the reason why you could see that there's no money. There's no money in these nations because the nations have mortgaged the resources that are coming from his nation to collect money, to collect loans from other nations, from World Bank. Like now, additional loan from World Bank again. In May, we got money from World Bank. Now we are getting more money from World Bank. All the natural resources that I mentioned to you, every part of Nigeria, we're not looking at how can we make benefit from those. We are not thinking about all those, even though they come. In mining any resource, it comes with its own challenges, environmental challenges, and environmental degradation that comes with that. But the point is, you can see how blessed this nation is, and despite that, we continue to loan. We continue to get more loan. So you see where we are in the continent of Africa. And like I keep saying, when we are mapping the natural resources of every nation, and today is nation 38, which is Nigeria, which is now we are looking at Nigeria today, the reason for that is that even if you can say on this call tonight, on this show tonight, you say, I'm not from Nigeria. If you're not from Nigeria, no problem. But you see, the nation, wherever you come from, on the continent of South Africa, have similar challenges. I remember vividly when we did the second nation about 2 years ago, when we did that on Benin Republic, when we did Benin Republic, the third nation, I think, we saw that people were selling their children for $15 in Benin Republic. They were selling their children for $15. Why? Because of poverty. So despite the opportunities, despite the resources that are available in every nation on the continent of Africa, we keep going through this quagmire, this conundrum of poverty, of servitude, because all the resources have been squandered. And of course, there's corruption everywhere you go in and on the country. In my research, looking at in the oil and gas industry, if there's any industry that has been pilfered, things have been stolen, is the oil and gas industry in Nigeria, in which sometimes they will even tell you they don't know how much oil that was refined, that was brought out from the ground. Why? Because some people are stealing it. There's oil bunkering, people are stealing it. So you could see that there are challenges for the continent of Africa. But the point we're making is that you on this call tonight, you on this show tonight, you are part of the solution. And that's why I mentioned earlier, have you discovered the problem you were born to solve? You are part of the solution for Africa to come out of its, challenging years, if you like to use that terminology. So you are part of the solution to the problem. So now that is the natural resources of Nigeria. Let's now look at other things. Let's look at education in Nigeria. In Nigeria, education, we have what we call the 6344 system. You spend 6 years in primary school. You spend, first 3 years in junior secondary school, second 3 years in senior secondary school, and you spend 4 years, depending on the course you're studying in education, you spend that and education is compulsory because you have the universal basic education. In other words, it's a right for every child to go to school in Nigeria. But the question is, what is the literacy rate in this nation called Nigeria? So if every child has a right to go to school, what is the literacy rate? The literacy rate for was, so the literacy rate for this particular country called Nigeria, let me get that now. So Nigeria's literacy rate between now is 62 point. No, that not indicates. Give me a minute. Yeah, it is said that Nigeria's current literacy rate is 77.62. 77.62. Well, that is still poor, considering the fact that there's universal basic education, considering the fact that education is compulsory, basic primary school is free and is compulsory, that every child should go to school. And I think in looking at all the nations that we have looked at in the continent of Africa, I think the one that have had the highest, I think, was Cape Verde. Cape Verde had, I think, the highest literacy rate. So 77.62 is still poor for a nation where English is, lingua franca. It's a universal rate. So that is still poor, and there's still opportunity for more. And like I mentioned, like other nations, it means we need more institutions, more ways of reaching these children. We need more ways. We need more ways of teaching these children. We need more ways of providing literacy, ensuring that everyone in Nigeria is able to read and write. That is literacy. That everyone is able to read and write. Everyone is able to comprehend and able to read and write. So there's no reason. And it's very appalling, and it breaks one's heart when you watch some what you call skits, some, you can call it comedy, when they are asking some people who are Nigerians, asking them some questions, and you could see the depth of and apologies. I'm not condescending. I'm not bad mouthing or trying to, but I'm just saying what you watch. It should not be that when you ask some questions and some people, all those kids you see around, those things should be going, because for a nation that has a lot of resources, and basic education is free, those things should not be. So you have a responsibility. I have a responsibility. For me, even as an academic, it's part of the responsibility. It's the reason why we have this show, to increase the knowledge, to educate, to inform the people, the populace, about the need for this kind of development on the continent of Africa. All right, so let's now look at the aspect of healthcare in Africa. Healthcare in Africa. Now, Nigeria has medical practice, general hospitals here and there, national hospitals, regional hospitals, state hospitals. They have them scattered here and there. And the way it is structured is that the states are supposed to provide healthcare systems, democratizing that, provide that in various general centers in across the nation. But most of these things are politicized. I remember one of those states where I was some years ago, in which when the state governor, when the state governor was a medical doctor, he was still alive, but he was a medical doctor. So, but while he was there, he did not provide medical facility across the nation, across the states. But surprise, surprise, do you know something? What he did? Some couple of months before he left, he released a tranche of money, and they now began to go across all the revamping the community health centers across the states. Can you imagine? A medical doctor is in power. He's not concerned about the health of the people from day one when he became the governor of the state. It was when he was going to leave the state, he now released money for those things to be fixed. He now released money. And he could, you know what that means? Those things will not be fixed. Those things just to say that he did that, because the money will be pilfered away, the money will be stolen, and of course, those kind of rush projects, they will not be done effectively. Now, these are part of the challenges that you have when people are politicizing, not really concerned about the health of our citizenry. That's the challenge we have. When we have leaders who don't have concern for the citizens that have been chosen to become a leader over. So when it comes to health issues in Nigeria, it is, of course, private clinics. The health system is, we can use the word maybe comatose. It's still private clinics. And there's no free health care as it is in the West. There's no free health care as it is in the West. Now, so when you now look at the issue of health, so what is the life expectancy? Because based on the life expectancy, we are supposed to be able to know how effective the health structure. It can tell us the effectiveness of the health sector. The life expectancy in Nigeria is 56.05 years. It may not worse. It means that someone is expected to die at 56.05, when in some other nations is 70-something%, is 80-something%. Here in the West is 90-something%. People are living up to the age of 60, 70, 80, 90, 95. I had somebody speak to someone today who is 93. Two people today spoken to 193, 190 or thereabout. So you could see the opportunity is there for the government to bring about. But like I keep saying, it's a challenge, but it's an opportunity for you, if you're a medical personnel, to ensure you do everything in your power to bring about quality health to the people in the local areas. Now, when it comes to some of the diseases that are available, that are berefting, that are challenging this nation called Nigeria, you have the issue of cancer is now becoming very common in Nigeria. So over 80,000 people die of cancer in Nigeria, because over 100,000 are diagnosed. So we have cancer is there as part of the challenge. There's bone marrow surgery as part of the challenge in the nation. There's also other things like, malaria is there, and there's now even an increase in mental health issues in the continent of Nigeria. There are now issues of mental health issues that are now in the nation. And this calls to point, and of course, like I mentioned, different kind of diseases, malaria, of which is predominant. And this is part of the things what we do on the Mentor Show. We are optimistic of doing running a program that would help those who want to study, pharmacy, and we're looking for pharmacists to sponsor these people, for them to be the new crop of pharmacists that will discover, that will bring change to the continent, particularly to the nation of Nigeria. That is in. I know I had a conversation with a pharmacist some time ago. We're going to try and bring that to bear to see how we can get new crop of people who are passionate and trying to see how we can bring change to the health sector in the nation of Nigeria. And like quite a lot of medical doctors and nurses have moved out of Nigeria. So it means the health sector, again, a massive blow of a lot of people who have migrated away from Nigeria. So getting that, to replenish that, of course, it will. The health sector is already a challenge before with with those kind of people moving away. It means we have more challenge in the health sector of Nigeria. So there is challenge, but like I said, it means there's opportunity. Wherever there's talent, there's opportunity. As I often said, that in China, there's nothing like, in the Chinese culture, there's nothing like problem. It's a challenge. It's opportunity. It's called opportunity. So it's an opportunity for health people. It's an opportunity for you, if you're a health person, to try and see how can you cover this health shortage and bring about positive change. So for those of us, you joining us, we are looking at mapping Africa's natural resources, and we have been focusing on Nigeria, the nation 38 that we've been considering, looking at Nigeria, looking at providing the information about this nation called Nigeria. That's what we've been looking at today, our nation 38 called Nigeria. Let me again go back to, before I round up tonight, earlier we mentioned other natural resources. We're looking at all the things I mentioned. What of agriculture? Now we are going to agriculture. In the nation called Nigeria, when it comes to agriculture, there are a lot of opportunities also in the agricultural space, because there are things that are used for export. There's cashew nut in Nigeria, there's natural cocoa butter in Nigeria, there's standard quality cocoa, there's sesame seeds, there's frozen shrimps, there's other cut flowers, there's soya bean, ginger, cocoa beans. All these are available in Nigeria, and they are exported in Nigeria. These are all the exports that are available in Nigeria. So there is a lot of opportunity, because a lot of farmland, we have massive land in the space of the nation. So, and interestingly enough, our farmland are so good that just all you don't need to just plant something and it will grow. So a lot of opportunities for farming in the nation of Nigeria. Although we know that there's a challenge also, the challenge of the marauders, the people that takes cows to go around. That challenge also is there. I know someone who had a farm, and they went and they mentioned that they used their animals to feed on the things that somebody has planted, and if you say anything, they kill you. So it's a nation of that everybody's just claiming becoming the law of themselves. So the agricultural space in Nigeria is still what can I call it? Like what we see in other nations of Nigeria. is still peasant. Majority are still peasant farming. Some of the crops grown in Nigeria: beans, rice, sesame, cashew nut, cassava, cocoa bean, groundnut, gum arabic, kola nut, cocoa, maize, melon, millet, palm kernel, palm oil, plantains, rice, rubber, sorghum, soybean, bananas, and yam. So these are some of the things that are there. So you have other things like coconut, shea nut, egusi, pepper, soy, onions, mango, potato, sugarcane, vegetables, maize, rice, pineapple, papaya, palm oil, millet, ginger, sweet potato, okra, sorghum, cowpea, taro, yam, cassava. So you could see all these things are available. The nation is blessed. It's a blessed nation. It's a blessed nation. But you see, planting and doing these things by subsistence farming cannot be. They need to be for mechanized farming. And therefore we need industrial tractors. And that's why on this show we've invited before a young man in Plateau State who is actually manufacturing cars, manufacturing tractors to use for some of these things. So we also have livestock, livestock farming in Nigeria. We have poultry farming, we have goats, sheep, cattle, pigs, and of course fish farming also is now also booming in Nigeria. So, but the challenge of nomadic pastoralism is still a challenge, and that's what I was mentioning to earlier, that there needs to be catered, that there shouldn't be nomadic farming. There needs to be areas where these things are provided for, to keep them and to make them to have what they need, ecosystems that cater for all these people. So here you have it. Those are challenges, the things are available in Nigeria, resources, a nation blessed by and you see we are not challenged by weather or challenged by any of those kind of things. So a lot of opportunities. And like we know, like states like Benue State, state like Plateau State, Benue State is a food basket of the nation. But you see those areas, a lot of ramblings, which will definitely affect the production. The North, that are also into farming, all the terrorist attacks and things like that. And there are ways in which we can be able to tackle these challenges. So don't forget, we're not just talking about the challenges. We are saying you on this show, you are the solution to the problems or the challenges that we have highlighted tonight. In the health sector of Nigeria, in the agricultural sector of Nigeria, we have, or in the education sector of Nigeria, even in the natural resources of Nigeria. You on the call tonight, you on this show tonight, you are part of the solution. So there's a need to that's why I ask, have you found out the problem you were born to solve? Have you found out the problem you were born to solve? You are part of the solution to the challenges that are available in Nigeria. So I have not seen any question on any of the platforms. Are there any questions on YouTube? Do you have questions on Facebook? Do you have questions on LinkedIn? Any question? Don't forget that you can share this information for other people to see it and for them to discover the problem that they were born to solve, because they are part of the solution to the challenges that are there, even on the continent of Africa, and even in Nigeria. So that's us done for today. Wow, it's a wrap. Wow, just now it's almost 1 hour that we've been on it. So thank you so much for those of you on LinkedIn. Thank you for those of you on Precious. Thank you so much. And all those who have been with us tonight. Thank you for those who have been with us on Facebook. Thank you for those of you who are on YouTube. Thank you so much for your time. Again, that's me signing off tonight. will come your way again on Tuesday. Next week, we come your way every Tuesday. So we come your way again every Tuesday. And again, we are grateful for thank you so much, Precious. So we are grateful for the nomination which we secured by the Black Scottish Awards, which were nominating me for professional senior leader of the year and sustainability champion of the year. We are grateful to God. Thank you. It's because of all your support, all of you that come on our show, that we continue to get this kind of nominations. So we hope to continue to do more, to bring more information your way as we make the world a better place, as we tackle ignorance and ensure that each one of us discover the purpose why we're born and will begin to solve the problem that we're born to solve. So as I come your way again next week by the grace of God, that's me sign off. Bye. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye now. Bye now. Bye.